Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and pets alike, welcome back to the 2021 World Rift Asia Brawl semifinals. We're now in the semifinal of the loser bracket. The winner will proceed to the grand final of the loser bracket, taking against the loser of the winner bracket final. So it's going to be a really exciting day. All best of fives. The second game is already underway. If you're watching the stream right now, make sure to head to trovo.live. Again, one might proceed. Get ready for the giveaway after this match. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and send it to the caster's desk for the second game between Nexplay Esports and 16-Bit Gear.
Thank you so much, Dave, for that introduction. And yes, we are back in here for round 2, for the round 2 match between 16-Bit Gear versus Nexplay Esports. I'm Kaysaya. With me is Maxman. And Maxman, look at this one. We can see the champions that got banned a while ago, Akali and Lulu. What is up with these two champions right now in the current meta?
I mean, just Akali overall is just such a strong champion. Like, she was just already really strong when the game came out for me, in Europe at least. And then they buffed her on top of that. I was like, that's kind of unnecessary. But she's still really good at the game right now. So I think that Akali, especially with the follow-up potential dive of the Lee Sin, they can combo it pretty damn good to dive on squishy targets. And talking about squishy targets, Corki is going to get picked up by 16-Bit Gear. Corki has been, you know, really heavily buffed up, especially for his late game stages of the most recent patch. So he's going to be really strong. But I'm seeing Lulu here, and I'm thinking, what are they going to combo that Lulu with? Is it going to be also potentially a Corki Lulu in the lane, which I don't think inherently combo well all that good. Like, you still got Kai'Sa available, you still got yourself also Jinx, and those are like a way better combo to pair up with the Lulu in that Drake lane position. So I'm intrigued to see how that Lulu is going to be working out and with what kind of character they're going to pair it up. But on the other side though, Miss Fortune and also Alistar is going to get picked up. But when you look at it, 16-Bit Gear can still pick up Brawl, but unfortunately because Lulu's there, Brawl is not going to be a viable option for them.
Yeah, it might be a Corki after all if they're gonna be putting that Zed in the mid. So I was thinking that okay, should have instead utilized making use of that really nice combo we've seen from yesterday, like that Lulu Jinx combo and something else like Lulu Kai'Sa as well. But yeah, we'll see. Seems like 16-Bit Gear has something else in mind on this one. But I'm quite scared about what their composition can do. Seems like they're lacking a little bit of CC in here. They might just be relying on the CC or the set that this Darius can do, or maybe even the Vi if they lock this one out. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, I'm not too sure if they have the capacity, basing on their composition, to give that much needed protection for the Corki. Yes, Corki deals a lot of damage, but you know, you definitely will also need some sort of protection for this one.
I mean, already, like, inherently, Corki is a very sleepy counter character, and also you do have a little bit of healing that's gifted to you by that Lulu. But I think that overall, like, we've seen the dive potential of like an Akali, you've got also Fiora, you've got Alistar, and also Lee Sin. Like, they're going to be chasing down this Corki really heavily. And also, this is the first time I see a bottom lane combo of like Lulu Corki. So I'm really intrigued to see how that synergy is going to work out. I think that there were better options at hand than a Corki, but Corki, as I said, has got great late game scaling. So I'm intrigued to see because their peeling is not all that great. But once again, you're going to be seeing the side of Nexplay giving back their own medicine over to 16-Bit Gear. They were playing against the Alistar and Miss Fortune combo. Here's going to be picked up for the side of Nexplay. So let's see if they can execute it a little bit better than 16-Bit Gear than what happened in that first game.
Yes, for sure. We'll see about that. I'm going to be, well, since I mentioned something about not really being happy about the combo between that Lulu and Corki, then maybe I'm just gonna give my prediction. Oh, okay, there's the lobby invite. Wow, I got invited first. Okay,
oh,
well, here we go. So I think I'm more relying to the composition of Nexplay Esports in this one. I mean, the engage potential is both the engage potential on maybe a 4v5 or even a 5v5 fight is present, and at the same time they have the capacity to go for a split push work. It's something that, well, not to discount on what is in here in the side of 16-Bit Gear, because definitely the Zed can do that as well, and at the same time, maybe even if they caught that Miss Fortune off guard, it's something that they can peel off from the team fights as well. So I think, again, both of the teams, they are doing good in drafting, it will now just boil down onto how they're gonna be executing their play. Because from a while ago, both didn't really initially start with an invade. I mean, it was kind of late for a few seconds or maybe even just 1 minute before they even tried to, okay, we're sure that Olaf isn't done with the blue buff as yet. So let's go after that guy and just make sure you shove your minion waves in the mid as well as in the bot, and then let's go for it. Let's see if that's something that will happen again. But if 16-bit gear is not able to prepare themselves for that kind of play from Nexplay again, then they have to, you know, just re-strategize. Yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree on that one. I also want to touch upon the vision game. I want to see way, and I mean way better vision coming out from the side of 16-bit gear. Like, the vision play coming out from Nexplay Esports on that first game allowed them to get the very first Drake of the game and know exactly how and when the jungle might be appearing in respective lanes. So I think that here 16-bit, if they want to try and go for some nice, profound, and also pretty deep vision game into the enemy jungle, I think that could inherently help them out a really big amount, because I think that they were lacking vision pretty heavily. I don't know if you agree with me on that one, Kasaya, but they had very little vision around the map that made it very hard for them to roam around and know exactly what they were dealing with, because most of the time they'll be pushing out of their first turrets. They'll be basically moving in the straight up darkness.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, vision is so important, especially when you are able to track your opponent's jungler, because you right after you draft, you just think about, okay, is this something we can invade? Like, okay, I'm the jungler. Are we able to 1v1 this opponent's jungler? If not, that's fine. But do you plan to invade? For as long as maybe you're gonna be joining me, we go 4-man or 3-man on the invade, then I'm gonna be fine. We will be able to shut down their jungler early on. So we'll see how this will go this time. This is gonna be a Vi versus a Lee Sin. Usually, if we talk about chase, both of these champions can do so, but more mobility, of course, on the side of Lee Sin, and at the same time displacing an opponent. So let's see how this will go. Yeah, gonna be very interesting to see how the Corki as well as the Lulu combo will do in the Dragon lane.
I mean, Corki, when you think about it, Corki does have a gap closing ability, does have that dash. If he wants to go in deep into the 2v2 matchup and then try and get the wild growth coming out from the Lulu, that could be the combo potentially I'm thinking of. But doing all of that just for an extra knockup, knowing that also Corki is a pretty damn squishy character. He mainly plays based around his mobility. I think that's a little bit interesting. But also, you're going to be seeing some really early vision, clearing coming on through. Nexplay, they had good vision last game. I mentioned that earlier, so they're both going to clear it out early because the vision game was so strong early game for game 1 that they had to make sure that was just not going to happen twice in a row. So already really good response from 16-bit, just purely on the base that they got the sweeper instead of just getting the nice ward up for the Vi. So I think that's already a pretty big win in my books. I'm intrigued to see now what they're going to do over the lack of information spread the way of Nexplay, as the top lane is already taken a little bit of a beating there, as Akali is just getting bullied under tower. I'm calling the police. That should not be happening.
Yeah, he's under turret, gonna be making use of the honey fruit as well. But you were talking about vision. Let's go back to that one. You can see that the members of Nexplay Esports from a while ago did actually start with the sweeping lens, and they actually managed to just remove all of the wards that was placed along the riverbed by 16-bit gear. And now Nexplay Esports has an information in here. Okay, Vi is now on the blue side. Let's go. I don't know if they're gonna plan for an invade. You can see this is a very low Zed in the middle lane as well. And just like that, Sonic Wave will connect. And TP actually missed that buff. Forced to back away. And yeah, fortunately enough, he has the ability to do so. And do you get what I mean? I mean, the vision is so important. Where's the jungler? Can we punish him? Make sure that you punish their mid laner as well, so that Fiora, you can also back me up in there. And that's what happened.
I just want to mention something.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go. Actually, you killed it. Darius picks up the Akali. I'm not too surprised. I want to mention this too. Why the hell is Fiora mid? Why is Fiora in the mid lane right now? Why is Akali in the top side playing against Darius in a 1v1? Fiora would have a way easier potential time to go up against Darius. than the Nakali would, as she's unfortunately extremely squishy. So yeah, this is really interesting to me. Also, I don't think that inherently Fiora does extremely good into Zed itself, so I'm intrigued what the decision making is in that one. But I'm seeing in the bot lane, Lee Sin is going to be clearing up that camp. I thought Alistar might go for dive eventually, but no. But like, what I would love to know, Kasai, what do you think of this Fiora mid position? This is an interesting decision to go with.
Yeah, actually. I think they're just trying to go for the risky strategy right now, which will later on be very much useful, especially when trying to peel off that Corki on the side of 16-bit gear. Definitely the Fiora can do something about it, as well as the Akali. So, yeah, it's going kind of questionable as of the moment, but maybe what Nexplay Esports has something in their mind is the one that will be useful in the long run. Sometime in the mid lane as well in the late game too. So yeah, you can see in the middle lane though, Zimage is also getting poked down so hard by the Zed. Actually, both of them will have to teleport back to the Nexus to reset.
I mean, just even the simple fact that she went for Shield instead of an Ignite makes me also think that she was prepared to go in that matchup versus a Zed, because Shield makes it a little bit easier to soak up the damage from the Zed itself. So I think overall they definitely had this mindset and this game out planned out when they were in the draft phase. So I think that it's not just a last second decision. They were definitely trying to play around these strengths. So I'm intrigued to see how next player are going to make this potentially try and work for themselves. I'm going to be checking down the bottom side of the map. So Corki, Lulu, not doing too much just yet. But the thing is also their poking potential is pretty big for the early game stage. But also now Alistar is ready to try and go for the engage. The headbutt knockup combo is going to be coming on through. Nice pulverize, going to get the engage. But Lulu might
gonna
make it
get
alive.
stunned. That tongue and needs to back away a little bit. A really low support. That will be missing out the chance to even contest this Drake. But Vi roaming around in here. I wonder if he's gonna go for a Hail Mary. Right? Try to go. Oh, unfortunately, no, that wasn't really successful. So yeah, anyway, regardless, you can still see that 16-bit gear is ahead in terms of gold. What actually happened in the map that allowed them to be ahead by some digits in here?
I mean, mainly is that first blood, right? The gold from the first blood they were able to get, that's mainly the only reason why they're heading gold currently. Otherwise, it's not all that significant. 1,000 gold in 4 to 5 minutes is not all that big. It's easily comebackable if they get just an extra few plates on turrets, or if they just get a nice little bit of an invade and pick up an extra few jungle camps. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see that happen. But once again, the vision game was really strong from Nexplay, and now they're on the side of the map where they get direct access to the dragon pit. So now they don't really have to go around all these this terrain and make it unfortunate. But oh no, they're setting up a trap for TP on.
Yes, indeed. And here we go. 3-man gank onto that Vi. You're missing your jungler this time. And maybe there's a little bit of pressure that might be incoming in here up against the Corki as well as the Lulu, because they are man down in here. But Joshi just chose to go back to the farm. Okay, get more gold and just be prepared on the next objective that is about to come up, which is the Rift Herald. Up top 30 seconds from now, it's gonna go up anytime soon, and we can maybe tell that Joshi is gonna go for a reset right after this red buff.
Man, we just had so much happening in the past 30 to 45 seconds on the map. So of course we're going to see the Baron lane matchup that actually went down to the Drake lane. So that's Fiora and Darius to both switch down. Comparing to that, also the Drake lane went to the Baron lane position, mainly to try and get and win priority around the Herald that's about to pop onto the map. But also Akali is now going to go back in the mid lane position. So Fiora shall be taking that 1v1 versus Darius. Reason why, she's hit that level 5 power spike. She's got that heal on her ultimate. So now she is feeling a lot more confident to take that 1v1, and she almost barely won it earlier up against that Darius. So now she's definitely in a favorable matchup as long as she takes and wins it correctly. But a fight's happening in the top side.
Oh my goodness, here we go with bullet time also connecting onto the members of 16-bit gear. Really nice sandwich and even a plan coming from the side of Nexplay Esports. I mean, they are really... I can say that 16-bit gear is mispositioned, but hold the thought in middle lane. We can see in here a chase onto Zimish. Gonna get the honey fruit to hopefully save his life. Not gonna connect the ability, and then again Zimish will go back home. alive. So there was no early objective on the Rift Herald, but I think that was still a very successful gank coming in from the side of a Nexplay. Again, I wouldn't say that 16-bit gear is mispositioned. It's just that Nexplay Esports is advanced and they're just capitalizing on the vision that they have been taking. You know, if you are early on a particular objective, then you're fine. But hold a thought, because on the bot side part of the map, we have another fight happening. Zimich again will be safe, Eve, despite having the 2-man pressure coming in from the side of 60-man. Look at this one. Right after the Herald, they take down this outer turret in the middle lane, and that's very big.
Oh, it almost got the plate off there, but it was just like down to 80 HP before it was almost barely able to get the plate, but it was not able to hit it, unfortunately. But this is exactly the reason why they did the lane swap. Get priority on that Herald, try and crack it into the mid lane, and now they got also control, and they can get access to the enemy jungle if they decide to do so, while Jake is just about to pop up in just now 10 seconds, and you can see that they're already interested. Reason why they have another lane swap. Yes, they're sending back again the Alistar and the Misfortune down into the bottom side of the map to get priority onto this, but this time around, you can currently see where the players of 16-bit are currently positioned. You know they're ready for the bottom side fight.
Yeah, gonna go for that bullet time once more. They're gonna be connecting so well onto the members of 16-bit gear, just enough to put a disaster back. But then again, the Misfortune, I don't know what happened on that one. Did he get caught off guard? Did he get pulled by the Darius? So I did not particularly see that. But now we can see that the Fiora is doing Fiora things. Gonna go for that split push work. Okay, you punish our ADC down bot. Then no worries, we're just gonna take your turret. I mean, your turret's gonna go back a lot. It's not gonna respawn, but our Misfortune is gonna respawn. So we don't really care. But for the meantime, we can see a tussle still ongoing up top. We can see the Darius just regenerating a lot of HP as well. Back up and coming from the Corki. Will they be able to know Corki? I can manage this one. I can manage the Fiora. So despite that, I mean, we can see that yes, Nexplay is getting a lot of objectives. They're getting a lot of turrets, but something scary about this Darius whenever he joins a particular team fight or even a 1v1.
I mean, he was 2-0 before that fight against Fiora, and Fiora is normally a 1v1 duelist. Like, she can take 1v1 after 1v1, but because she was 0-0, like, she did not have the lead that Darius had at that time, and Darius is, even though he would have normally a little bit of a hard time purely because of the repos and because of the inherent mobility coming on through from the Fiora, he's just so far ahead that Fiora is just not able to deal with the damage coming on through, and Niall is just also too much to bear with. So overall, they are struggling, but now they went back to the Strav, having Fiora going for the split lane position, which has been working tremendously well so far. But Baron is about to be on the menu in now 10 seconds, which I believe is going to be the focus of their team. But I really want to put a big point of interest in, like, shouting out one of the players of Nexplay, Jushi. This guy has been roaming absolutely insanely well. Like, his rotation is just top tier in every single sense of the term. As now they're going to go for another invade to just cancel out the Zed, and he's going to get caught out.
Yeah, he wasn't aware. Of course, he doesn't have any vision, and this is where 16-bit gear is failing. Look at the advanced wards coming from the side of Nexplay. It's just all out in the jungle camp of 16-bit gear, and that's the reason mainly why they are able to set up the proper ganks that they want to do up against 16-bit gear. Now, what 16-bit gear is just doing, while they know that members of Nexplay Esports are missing potentially, I don't know, maybe they have an idea, okay, they might just gonna go for the Baron, so let's just focus on where they are not present, which is to take down the mid lane turret as well as one in the bot lane. Let's just go for that, because we know that we cannot fight as of yet, and they are early in the position in the Baron pit.
I mean, like, once again, the vision, you just mentioned it, Kasai, like, rightly so. The reason why also Lee Sin does not get ganked in the top side by Darius Zed Wombo combo is because they had that vision once again. It looks like they activated hacks, and it just like, now we got God vision, we got God mode activate, and we know exactly where all the enemies are going to be, and if they move, we're going to know every single movement they are making around the map. So overall, this is just Nexplay, like, playing indeed to the next level, and I think that is exactly what they are showing once again, that they are the better team in this matchup. But 16-bit, I'm sure they still got a few tricks up their sleeve, but the Corki Lulu, we were questioning that pickup going into the draft phase, and unfortunately, he's just not been able to shine through just yet.
Yes, for sure. And yeah, it's kind of failing, and somehow I feel like, okay, is Lulu wasted on this one, being partnered with a Corki? I I don't want to say it that way, but it's more like them 16-bit gear really failing to get their early position in map. And again, division. We keep on repeating that one, but that's really a fact that there. Look at this one. I mean, the only if you take a look at the mini map where the wards are actually positioned coming from the side of 16-bit, it's just in their very own jungle camp. If they're actually and in the early stages of the game, we did not even see at least one advanced ward to try to trace and track where the jungler is. But for the meantime, we talk about this fight happening down bot part of the map, forced to flush. Flash is a Joshi. Regardless if he actually died, he has that GA available anyway. But let's see. The pressure is on seemingly coming from the side of Nexplay Esports. Maybe this Lee Sin will have to reset for the meantime until he is full on HP. Or else they might get punished. Or potentially 16-bit gear might be able to go for a comeback play if they try to force and, you know, just choke out because of the lead that they got.
I mean, here also, you see how the map, like, play was coming on through. Nexplay were spread away from each other. They could not take that fight head on, especially the Lee Sin. And then you just saw 16-bit like, oh, we know that they're split, and they started pushing with the entirety of Nexplay, like, okay, we know they're going to try and push us. We predict what's going to happen. We're reading into the future. We feel like in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and we're just going to be going straight back to base. So overall, like, once again, they are able to guess exactly what's about to happen as the engage happen once again in the jungle.
Yes, they're going to go for this Alistar, and I think you know, that was actually quite a bad engage to start with. He's quite beefy, you know? He can just soak in all the damage that you want to pull off. Maybe Akali is a better target in this one, but maybe a Ryzen will be able to just flash and dash away. There goes the headbutt coming up from the Alistar as well. Gonna be flashing away as well. And while the members of 16-bit gear are just way too busy on going for that pressure in the middle lane up against Nexplay Esports, the Fiora is doing that split push work up top. Is this gonna be another backdoor potentially? But for the meantime, they're still way too busy. The red team, Nexplay Esports, will still be able to go for that secure onto this dragon. The Alistar is gonna go down. 4-man member from the side of team 16-bit gear, so still all alive in here onto the side of the dragon pit. But yeah, we have the fight still not yet done. Double kill going on to this misfortune, and look at that. They got wiped out. 4-man wiped out in the Baron pit. They are so persistent about, okay, please, let's force this fight. And I think they're already choking by that point wherein they try to force, but they know they are at a disadvantage. And I think this is going to be it anytime soon, man.
And I fell asleep. That fight was way too long. They're going to go now straight for the Nexus, and they are going to be closing off that game 2-0. But it's not over, as it is indeed a BO5. But still, next play, can anyone stop them? Apparently, seeing how things are going so far, that's going to be a big fat no for me. They are just dominating. The vision game, the rotations, the team fighting capacities of the team are just so high up there. And 16-bit has yet to find a response, has yet to find a counterplay to get back into it. I did say it was a little bit of a dodgy draft from the from the get-go, especially that Corki Lulu. I did not think it was going to be that dominant. But look at the entire side of Nexplay. Akali, Lee Sin, Fiora, Alistar. Their composition is just so damn slippery. And the amount of peeling they also bring to the table with the Alistar is just mind-boggling to me at least. So I just got to say, that was a great, great game. Unfortunately, when you're looking for the set of 16-bit, Darius was doing so much work. He had the top damage of the entire game. But unfortunately, when you're solo carrying like that, Darius, when you're going up against like so many GAs on the other side, you know you just can't spam ultimate to win. That is just not going to happen in the GA meta.